Urgent, it came as a bombshell. News about Bryce James playing with LeBron James in the near future is being discussed. Stay until the end to find out everything. But before starting the video, leave your like and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss any important news about the Lakers. As the NBA offseason approaches, all eyes turn once again to LeBron James, who faces a crucial decision regarding his future with the Los Angeles Lakers. At age 40, the legendary forward must decide whether to opt into the final year of his current contract or decline it and enter free agency. While some might assume this opens the door for a move elsewhere, the likely scenario is quite the opposite. Should LeBron choose to decline his player option, it likely won't be with the intention of leaving the Lakers. Rather, it could be a strategic move to negotiate a new deal. The expectation around the league is that James would re-sign with Los Angeles on a fresh 2-year contract, one that increases his earnings under the league's rules for players of his age and tenure. His existing contract, worth $101 million over 2 years, was agreed upon with a slight pay cut built in. Last off-season, LeBron reportedly gave up $3 million in potential salary to allow the Lakers front office to improve the roster. Unfortunately, that sacrifice didn't translate into the impactful reinforcements many had hoped for. This time around, things might be different. Rumors suggest that LeBron intends to seek a $105 million extension, the maximum amount allowable for a veteran of his age under the NBA's collective bargaining agreement. If accepted, this deal would run through the end of the 2026-27 season, a timeline that holds particular significance not only for the Lakers, but for the James family legacy. Planning for Bryce. What makes this timeline especially intriguing is its alignment with the NBA draft eligibility of LeBron's youngest son, Bryce James. If Bryce follows through with current projections, he could declare for the draft in 2026, right in time to possibly share the court with his father, something that once seemed like fantasy. Unlike his older brother Bronny, who entered the league as a second-round selection, 55th overall in the 2024 draft, Bryce carries more buzz as a potential prospect. Early scouting indicates he has the tools to become a first-round pick, with some insiders even hinting at lottery potential, meaning he could be selected within the top 14 picks. This scenario opens a new chapter in LeBron's long-standing goal of playing alongside his sons. He's already fulfilled part of that dream. Teaming up with Bronny as Lakers teammates during the 2024-25 season was historic in its own right. No father and son had ever shared the court in the NBA before. Now it's been done. But could lightning strike twice? The contract as a statement. If LeBron signs a new 2-year deal this summer, it's not just about dollars. It's a strategic signal, a statement of intent. It tells the league and more importantly the Lakers that he's in it for the long haul, not only to contend, but potentially to play alongside both of his sons before he retires. The extension would also serve a dual purpose. It allows LeBron to retain leverage over the franchise's direction, while keeping himself financially secured through the twilight of his legendary career. In practical terms, it means LeBron would be on the roster, and likely still contributing at a high level, when Bryce becomes draft eligible. This brings us to the larger question. Is a James family trio on the same roster truly possible? Or is the dream of LeBron, Bronny, and Bryce playing together in the same uniform just that, a dream? In the next chapter, we'll examine the logistical and draft-related obstacles that could stand in the way of that vision, including the Lakers' current trajectory and where Bryce might realistically land on draft night. While the dream of witnessing LeBron James take the floor alongside both of his sons seems poetic and even possible on paper, the logistics surrounding Bryce James' future make that scenario far from guaranteed. The NBA is not a storybook, it's a complex web of contracts, draft positioning, team needs, and long-term planning. And Bryce's path, unlike Bronny's, may not be so easily aligned with the Los Angeles Lakers. Bronny's unique entry. When Bronny James was drafted by the Lakers in 2024 with the 55th overall pick, it was a moment both historic and strategic. Despite not being viewed as a top-tier prospect, Bronny's selection was largely driven by the unique opportunity to pair him with his father, something that LeBron himself had long hinted at as a personal ambition. For the Lakers, The move carried more emotional and brand-building value than immediate basketball impact. But Bryce James presents a different case. Standing taller, with a more traditional shooting guard frame and a developing skill set that scouts are already noticing, Bryce is seen as a far more intriguing prospect in the eyes of talent evaluators. If his development continues on its current trajectory, he is likely to be selected much earlier in the draft, possibly even within the lottery range. This is where the problem lies for the Lakers. The Lakers' draft outlook. The Lakers are a franchise that continues to chase contention. As long as LeBron remains on the roster, and especially with a healthy Anthony Davis or Luka Doncic in the mix, following the shocking 2025 trade, Los Angeles is expected to remain a playoff-caliber team, if not a championship contender. This success works against them in terms of the draft. NBA draft order is determined by regular season record, with the worst teams getting the highest picks. If the Lakers are regularly winning games, they'll be making their selections at the back of the first round, far from the lottery zone, where a talent like Bryce is likely to be chosen. To put it simply, unless the Lakers execute a bold trade to acquire a top pick, they would have no realistic pathway to draft Bryce themselves. And history shows how rare and difficult it is to orchestrate such deals, especially for competitive teams already navigating tight salary cap constraints and limited draft capital. The harsh reality. Even though LeBron's contract extension might align perfectly with Bryce's eligibility year, the actual odds of Bryce landing in Los Angeles are slim. There are just too many variables working against it. The Lakers would need to be unusually bad, or lucky, to end up with a high pick. Bryce would have to be passed on by multiple teams, which seems unlikely given his upside. LeBron, while still effective, will be 42 by the time Bryce enters the league, potentially limiting his impact on franchise decisions by then. Moreover, many general managers may not be eager to draft Bryce only for the purpose of securing LeBron. Unlike the Bronny situation, where LeBron could still carry a team, the calculus for taking on an aging star just to unite a family may shift dramatically in 2 years. A father's influence? That said, we cannot entirely dismiss the LeBron effect. His name still carries incredible weight in the league both on and off the court. If he signals that he would follow Bryce wherever he's drafted, it may influence front offices hoping to gain ticket sales, media buzz, and a veteran presence. But would LeBron really leave the Lakers for a rebuilding team just to chase a final chapter with Bryce? Or would he push the Lakers to pull off a miracle trade? Those are the kinds of questions only time can answer. But one thing is clear. Making the James family reunion happen will require far more than just heart and hope. It will take luck, leverage, and a little bit of league magic. In the next and final chapter, we'll look at the broader picture. What the idea of the James legacy means to the league, the business implications of the trio playing together, and what impact this could have on the game's culture and future. As speculation continues to swirl around the idea of LeBron, Bronny, and Bryce James all wearing the purple and gold of the Los Angeles Lakers, one truth remains: this is more than just basketball. It's about legacy. It's about cultural significance. And it's about redefining what family means in the context of the world's most competitive basketball league. No family has ever commanded the kind of generational presence on the court that the Jameses are poised to deliver. While we've seen siblings dominate together, like the Gasol or Holiday brothers, and even father-son duos grace the league across different eras, no trio has ever played in the NBA at the same time, let alone on the same roster. That possibility carries a level of historical and emotional gravity that transcends statistics and standings. What the NBA stands to gain. The NBA has long understood the power of storytelling. And few narratives are more compelling than a father and his two sons sharing the hardwood, chasing victories, titles, and a place in the history books, together. From a marketing standpoint, the potential is enormous. Ticket sales and merchandise would soar, particularly for the Lakers, who already benefit from global visibility. Media coverage would shift from game-to-game analysis to following the evolving James family storyline. The NBA would benefit internationally, as fans around the world would tune in to witness a once-in-a-lifetime phenomenon. If the league leaned into this narrative, as it has in the past with Kobe's farewell tour or LeBron's return to Cleveland, It could fuel one of the most profitable and widely watched stretches in NBA history. Cultural resonance and influence. Beyond dollars, this moment would echo through the cultural fabric of sports and fatherhood. LeBron has always been more than an athlete. From his public stances on social issues to his commitment as a parent, he's shaped what leadership and legacy look like in the 21st century. Having his sons not just follow in his footsteps, but literally stand beside him as teammates, would send a powerful message about mentorship, family support, and the long-term vision of success. It could also inspire a new generation of athletes and parents alike, not just to chase greatness but to do so in a way that uplifts those closest to them. Imagine high school gyms across the country filled with fathers coaching their kids, inspired by the image of LeBron sharing assists with Bronny, and Bryce catching lobs from both. What could go wrong? Of course, dream scenarios often carry risk. Basketball is a business, and every team has to weigh emotional value against on-court productivity. If Bronny doesn't develop into a consistent rotation player, or if Bryce's early promise doesn't translate at the pro level, franchises may be hesitant to invest minutes and roster space into a long-shot legacy experiment. LeBron's presence, while still commanding respect, could begin to wane with age, and the reality of a 42-year-old veteran in a physically demanding league might not be as magical as the image suggests. Moreover, team chemistry, expectations, and pressure from media could overwhelm a young player like Bryce, who may find himself not only trying to live up to his father's name, but also trying to escape its massive shadow. A dream worth chasing. Still, if there's any athlete who has continuously rewritten the rules of longevity, dominance, and narrative control, it's LeBron James. Whether or not all three James men share the same jersey, the attempt alone would be a fitting final act for one of basketball's greatest icons. The 2026-27 season could be remembered as the culmination of a 20-plus year journey that began in Akron, Ohio, not just about titles or records, but about creating moments no stat sheet can capture. And even if the stars don't align perfectly, the ambition of it all, to play alongside not one but two of his sons, stands as yet another testament to LeBron's unmatched ability to dream big, and then work to make those dreams real. Whatever happens next, the story of the James family is already one of the most remarkable in sports history, and it may still have its greatest chapter yet to be written.